What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So I decided to do 3 parts to the T5 swap. So if you're interested in doing a 5-speed T5 swap into your Mustang, stay tuned for this video as this is part 2. Make sure you check out part 1 and soon to be part 3. But let's just get right into it. All right, so I know this video is going kind of long. It's just a very informational video like the fuel pump video that I did. So I apologize, but some of the things I wanted to show you, AOD cars that are actually switching to 5-speed, you could actually convert your harness to a 5-speed harness. So what we're gonna do with Ryan's harness when we get in is we're gonna take this grommet out, unravel it, and I'm gonna restore it. Even the Ron Francis ones that come on the LMR, harnesses and AOD, you need to have this at least with your transmission harness, because this loop wire right here will keep you from starting the car. But this is the reverse light switch. It plugs into this one. All AOD and T5s are the same as far as this is concerned. The loop is right here. You see what I mean? It'll go like that. This is the neutral safety up top. If you can't see it, you've seen it on the trans when I had it loaded. And this is the VSS. So we're gonna go ahead and plug the VSS here in a second. And actually, I take that back. We're not gonna plug it in because we gotta pull it out. But this would plug in here, this would plug in here, and then I have to make this, I'll show you. So this is the neutral safety pigtail that I'm talking about, that actually Ron Francis makes, which is really nice. This is from LMR, I almost hit my head on the bumper. But we're gonna add this pigtail into his harness when we pull it out. And then it plugs in here, giving it the neutral safety switch that plugs into the pedals. Okay, so here's the pedals real quick. I brought you over here. We always restore our pedals, make them nice and clean. This is a core part. But you can see the neutral safety here. If you notice the little button that compresses when the pedal comes down, this is what closes the circuit. And it comes through that neutral safety that we just showed you, comes through this pigtail and goes into the sensor and allows the car to start. There's a lot of little things that you guys need to know when you're doing these T5 swaps. I know I'll actually probably mention this later, is when I come through here with this clutch cable, it's an adjustable clutch cable, so I'll be able to make an adjustment here. There's a clip that none of the transmission, like none of them come with the clip. So something you can get at Home Depot. I actually had a whole bunch of them from Harbor Freight, but it keeps the cable from moving, even though the tension from the cable would keep it from moving. It's kind of like a nice safe fail. So we're gonna go ahead and get the drive shaft in, and we're gonna continue and call it a day after we get the exhaust up, because we gotta go race. All right, so it's 2:10. We're about to get my dad's car loaded in the supercharger car or whatever. We're gonna go to the track. You know, there we have it. It's all in, including tailpipes and H-pipe. Everything's tight. 12mm bolts for the drive shaft. You know, you gotta make sure you tight your cross member, your mount, your 4 bolts to the trans, to the bell, and your bell to block, your starter, all that stuff. You know what I mean? You gotta pay attention. You know, I always put the new exhaust hanger on. It's always nice to bend it down and have to bend it back up to kind of make it nice. I put a lot of gasket sealer, orange gasket sealer like I do with my turbos on these. And you got to make sure, you pretty much rule of thumb is keeping the flow masters level will pretty much be right. But you know, Ryan had a few issues with his rubber blocks. So we're going to put a couple rubber blocks in for him. But outside of that, underneath this car is done. You know, I got the harness we got to do, like I said, and make a clutch adjustment, and probably even, I don't know if I'm gonna put one of those covers on or not for him, but that's it. We plug the O2s in. Oh, last thing we gotta do under here really for today is I'm gonna go ahead and screw this O2 in. But you can see I actually cut this pipe, put one of those water pump blocks, rubber blocks, but I filled it full of orange gasket sealer because he was taking his smog off. So that's kind of a really cool trick to do. And I did it up top too, as you've seen. So, well, we've actually cut about 15 inches off of his front accessory belt drive and saved him some drag. So we're gonna go ahead and bring the car down tomorrow, and I'm gonna put the belt on, and we're gonna start working. We're gonna take the dash out, because you have to switch holes for the cluster wire, the VSS sensor wire. You gotta switch holes and put the firewall adjuster in one of the holes where the clutch cable comes through and mount it on the frame. So that's a lot of work, folks. But I mean, when you do it right, we're gonna put an A9L in the car too, repin his O2, because you know you got to repin the O2 as well. And then we're gonna, you know, we're gonna fire this car up and start wearing that trans in. So, you know, he'll be happy, he'll be ready. We are on day 3 now of the T5 swap. We started on Tuesday. It's Thursday morning. Just got done racing last night with the blue car. If you haven't checked out that video, having a bunch of fun with that old school Vortec and Dad's old blue car. Black car's getting its engine finished this week for the most part, and we are back on Ryan Young's T5 swap. So I want to show a couple things that we did do. We did eliminate his smog and ran a 76-inch belt. So some of y'all wondering what size belt it is to get rid of the smog but still run AC and run the stock tensioner and stuff. It's 76 inches. It looks good, it fits good, happy. We did a lot of had to change his passenger gasket on his header because it was leaking and it was loose, and the smog switches, I mean, it was just a total shit show. So we went ahead and took care of Ryan. We actually checked some of the other things, closed a couple vacuums that weren't right, and made sure it was running right. Right now, cousin Paul is over here taking some of the interior out. He's really good at taking the dash out. So what we're gonna do is drop the column and take this dash out, because it's a lot easier to get to the pedal. Plus, we're gonna take the carpet up so I can go ahead and do this transmission valley. Have to shave it to fit the shifter, you can see here. And while I'm in here, I'm gonna go ahead and swap this A9P out for the, this is a computer we know works. A couple things I wanted to say about the T5 swap. You can run an A9P as an automatic computer. That's not a big deal. However, it is about 2 degrees higher timing curve, which is really cool. But the A9L has, the A9P lacks idle logic that the A9L has. So you'll get the surging idle and the code 67 and yada yada. If you do switch to an A9L, it is very mandatory that you go down to the O2 harness and you repin it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I got another video about it. But the pin outs on the return signal wire on the O2 harness is different from an A9P and an A9L. So you got to make sure you do that, or you're going to burn the trace on your A9L. So as soon as you turn, you know, push the NSS clutch in, or the neutral safety switch. So I got a lot of information. I would just basically speed it up and do like music and this is cool and that's cool and watch me work all this stuff really fast, but I can't do that because there's just a lot of stuff to talk about. And doing a transmission swap in a Mustang, it's a lot of devil in the details and a lot of little things that you got to get to, you know, get to work right and jive right. So again, you know, we're gonna go ahead and get this dash out, get the pedals in. We're gonna start hooking up the cable. I got to mount it to the frame over here, which has a factory hole, and then I'm gonna route the cable and we'll adjust the cable later on. But you know, let's get this carpet out, get the trans valley shape. Let me just get to work. We're gonna switch to the A3M1. This is a factory reman, but this is an F3 computer, which kind of coincides with the fact that the car's a 93. So we're gonna go ahead and skip putting the A9L in, but the A3M1 is a 5-speed anyways, so we'll be all set. Cousin Paul been pretty busy. We went ahead and took the carpet out. I'm gonna get in here and get this computer out while he's messing with these pedals. And this is one of the problems with Fox bodies, is there's just so much rat nest shit going on with this, with that alarm. I'm just like, you know, overwhelmed with the fact that, you know, I'm nervous just touching this column, because it's like, you know, over time, this is what happens. Over time, this is what happens, is people try to put alarms in them. And it's, you know, yeah, they're trying to protect the car, but for a guy like me that's trying to make it better, it just makes for a big problem. So we'll be back. We're gonna do a part 3, so make sure you stay tuned for the part 3. I do appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I have started a membership club here on the YouTube channel, and I do have a Teespring account if you guys want to go check that out for some merch to support the channel. Appreciate everybody. See you soon.